All right, the fun continues. So I turned this sucker on and it didn't explode. I didn't die. There was no smoke. So we're doing something right. So what do we do now? Before I put this monitor back in here and hopefully, for good here, we got to test all this stuff out. So I'm just kind of, going with the flow here, not knowing anything here. So there's this pin 1 config tool. I found this on Cleveland Software Design. And this seems to test all of it, but I've got to figure out how to get the beacons and the fan to test here. I was able to go through all the tests here. I think I've got a couple buttons that aren't responding, and that's probably just a wiring thing, at the button itself. But everything else is doing pretty good. I was kind of shocked on the amount of power that we've got here going on here. But okay, what are we doing here? So after you download this pin 1 config tool, it won't look like this until you've connected. So I selected, I know I'm using COM3 on the LEDs that are, down yonder. So COM4 was the other one that showed up, and I'm selecting COM4. As soon as I did that, there was a button that said connect, and I just pushed that, and then this is what you see here. Immediately, I saw backup config, so sure enough, that's what I did. I backed up the default settings, and I saved it into a Cleveland folder under the root of my pinball folder here. So then I found a video. Like you're living the struggle of hours of planning and implementing here. So hopefully this helps someone, but I'm probably going to reference all my videos because one day there will be something I've got to do and I won't remember it. So documentation is important. So the video just walks through everything on the left pane. And this is the accelerometer. This is basically the pin 1 board. I can hit the cabinet and, sorry, my mouse is coming off the cabinet. I can hit the cabinet and, this little cursor here is, the force, I suppose, right? This first square is the dead space. So like, if I'm pushing, if I'm pushing buttons like radically or whatever, like I'm going to town on them, right? The plus sign's not moving and it's within that first square, right? But as soon as that's outside of that first square, that's like the power that we're talking about here. So it really just depends on like what you're doing and where you're doing it. And, the sensitivity is based on these squares that I'm learning here. So if it's within that first square, you're good. Nothing's happening to the ball or the table. But as soon as that little plus goes outside of that, then that's when things are moving as if you're nudging. The settings that I'm at right now, it feels pretty good, is there. It's probably different for every cabinet, but again, for the sake of documentation. Inputs, this, I still have to go through here, but if I push a button here, it's lighting up. I'm not sure why some of those are like constantly lit. I don't know what that is, but I will someday. So I've got to go through each one of these buttons and just assign some sort of value. I've got some problem I've got to go through where there's 3 buttons that when I press it, it sounds like I'm disconnecting a USB. So either it's not wired in the right way or something else going on. So that's the inputs. This next one, this one caught me off guard here because I didn't know what was going on. But I do now, and here I am sharing the information, so you just know ahead of time, I guess. So this is, each one of these outputs are the things that are in the cabinet. If the output's plugged in, obviously you will see or hear something, right? This little like toggle thing, like turns it on. You can hear, one of the solenoids firing here. But if you just want to like go to town here and be like, test me everything, you're going to just slide this slider all across the board and things are just going to start going nuts. I had no idea what that was, and ta-da, scared me to death. So the only thing that is not working are these solenoids in the fan. I don't know. I'm sure I've got something that I've got to do here that will fix it, but those things are connected to that little board there. The lights also will, trigger off on the buttons themselves. I'm going to go ahead and just fire away here, and I'm just going to just slowly go across there on my high-tech mouse pad and mouse here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and you can kind of see, things start moving here. The shaker is what really freaked me out because it's got power here. That had so much power, this, I don't know, that's not the amp, but the amp is plugged into this, and then the USB is fed to the computer. That thing was just vibrating. It was just bouncing. I took some duct tape, duct tape can fix anything. I made a little roll there, and I stuck it on there. It's not going anywhere. But that sucker, that shaker is moving. But let's go ahead and keep going here. So, it's flashing through the buttons right now. And then here's the light show for the top. And I'm like, where's my solenoid or my beacons and the fan? So I put in a support ticket. I'm sure I'll get information. That Cleveland guy has been the easiest process with this whole thing. If he was doing the whole shebang here, this thing wouldn't be half the stress or the struggle, but it's turning out pretty good. I'm enjoying it, but it's just taking forever to get this project done. Okay, so let's look back at the screen. Yep. So the outputs, that's what we're at now. The plunger, this came out just out of the default. So if I pull all the way back on the plunger, the maximum is this little, arrow here. I didn't touch this at all. The settings, I didn't touch this, but apparently this is to control the night mode, which is on the service board when you open up the coin door. At least that's where I put mine. Again, I didn't do anything here. The Steam config, I'm not really sure the use case of when I would use this, especially on the cabinet itself, but this is to play with an Xbox controller. I'm sure I'm just a noob and there's instances where this is needed here. So that's it. I'm gonna go and save the config just because I'm here and, we gotta save things and back things up. That's pretty much it. I don't know what else to do, guys. What I need to figure out is get those beacons and the fan all working so that I can put the monitor finally in this thing again. I don't want to get this thing in and out, and I'm also not sure about the bass shaker there. That I haven't tested yet. The speakers work great. Something to kind of give you a heads up. I heard a whistle. It wasn't, it's technically on right now. You can't hear it because the fans are going. I've got that fan going and the fan over there going. I've got fans over there. What I've learned here is all that red wire, that speaker wire, that's coming from the amp, and then it's going down the center of the cabinet, and it's going, up to those two suckers. I've got those, 4 here, and that's pretty much it. But what I've learned here is that I know nothing about audio, guys. There's just some dude in a basement trying to get something done here. Just an amplifier itself, right? It produces some sort of feedback. I'm not getting a huge amount of feedback where it hurts the ears, but when I first turned this on and I was like, I hope smoke's not coming out of this sucker. I'm listening, I'm looking, and I'm hearing a little whistle. It kind of sounded like if, you had a tire, leak or something and you put water on it or something. Just just a faint like hiss sort of thing. And sure enough, it was the amp. It's actually coming out of each one of these like super faint. And with the fan and with the monitor in, I don't think I'm even going to hear it. I can barely hear it now, but when I turn the PC off, I do hear that like sort of hissing or humming on those speakers, like very slight. And it's just, you know, part of it, I guess. You can buy some resistors, I guess. Like, from what I understand is I am fortunate in the amount of sound that is coming out of that. Those suppressors are for like very loud feedback that's coming out. But something that did help is down, well, wherever you put your stuff here. Let's see here. This here, right? This is the power that's coming out of the, you know, the amplifier here itself. I had that zip tied, like this little like thing there. I had that zip tied to like those wires. And it wasn't bad to begin with, right? But I did see a noticeable difference of, you know, the hiss. So something to consider. Try to get that power away. You know, when I was looking at the power, that's a 24 volt to the amplifier. You know, I've got that terminal block that's 12 volt and 5 volt. I'm not going to go about buying another power supply to hook up the amplifier. I don't think it's going to make a difference. If I had to, like, I might stick it back here, but I don't think I've got a whole lot of room here. So that's pretty much it. When it comes down to it, this is looking pretty good. I've got to figure out how to get these buttons all working when I press them, and there's like 4 of them that disconnect something, but then it reconnects after I let go of the button itself. So, I don't know, I'm going to just poke around here. Hopefully I get an email back. Once everything's working, I'm going to go to the next steps here. Yeah. And if you're playing along here, keyword time, right? So if you want to make this, video, matter here, and knowing that you're real, I don't know, the keyword here, put in the comments, just so you can let everyone know that you accomplished a great feat here. You listened to me talk for, 12 minutes, it looks like. We'll say magic smoke is the key word. If you're real out there and you're listening, put it in there. All right, until next time.